Hi, it's Rob with CTSS. Packing a pack is a learned skill that you'll grow over time in the mountains, but getting it right really helps fit a lot more stuff in, helps your pack carry well, and kind of make the difference between kind of having a miserable day with your pack aggravating your back and not working out well, or having a pretty okay day even with a heavy pack. So when I think about packing a pack, the first thing I do is I make sure my pack's the right size. So what I've got here is a 70-liter pack. This pack is what I use for most of my climbs. I can do anything from a 3-day Baker climb to even maybe an 8,000-meter peak where we're doing multiple carries. If I'm doing something like Aconcagua or Denali, then you need to go up to maybe an 80, 85, or 100-liter pack. The trend is right now to get smaller and smaller packs. That just makes your life way harder each time you have to pack in, pack out. And on a mountaineering trip, you're often doing that once, twice a day, and it takes a bit of time. So get a pack that's the right size. And then in terms of putting everything inside, I think of kind of two main principles. The first one are the ABCs. You want accessibility, balance, and compression. And then the second main principle is small items, small pockets. So we'll kind of go through that here. Accessibility starts with thinking about what you won't need until you're back in camp. So things that I won't need throughout the day of climbing will go at the bottom of the pack. And then in the middle of the pack is going to be things that I probably won't need, or things that are dense and heavy. You want that dense and heavy stuff kind of in the center of your pack, so it's not pulling you backwards if it's down too low, and it's not kind of tipping you around if it's up high by your head. So you've got your middle section with a lot of your dense, heavy stuff, and then up on top are all the things you're going to need for the day. You know, your layers, your food for the day, your water, that kind of stuff. That goes right on top of your pack. And then things like your brain of the pack or the lid of the pack are a great place to put all your smaller breakable items. So if you pack it right, it carries well, and you never actually have to go digging deep into your pack throughout the day. So to do that, I'll take this pack. Right now I've got it folded down, but open it up to start, and the first thing I always do is line it with a trash bag. A nice, thick, heavy-duty trash bag. That waterproofs everything that's going inside my pack throughout the day, and I don't ever need to worry about it if it's raining or snowing on me. So, big trash bag goes in. So now that's in, and it's expanded, so it's filling up the entire pack. If you have all the little zippers on your pack, now you can't use them anymore, but you don't need them if you pack well, and honestly, I try to avoid all those little zippers and extra pockets as much as possible. So things I don't need until camp are like my sleeping bag, my sleeping pad, maybe my big down puffy, depending on what the day is. Maybe I want this at the top if it's gonna get cold. My biggest gloves, again, if I don't need them during the day, if I'm just doing approach to camp, I can keep those at the bottom. Extra socks, long johns if I'm not wearing them, that kind of thing. So sleeping pad and sleeping bag are what I usually start with. So sleeping bag goes in. That's all the way at the bottom. And then my sleeping pad can go in. That either sits right on top or to the side if my sleeping bag is small enough. Now those objects in the stuff sacks start to create all these little pockets and voids. So if I'm looking around here and poking, there's a couple little soft spots where there isn't an item filling it. Now I can take stuff like my long johns, my extra socks, or if I'm packing my big puffy away, I can use this to fill all those voids and really make this a compact pack. So taking a flat hand, I'm gonna start stuffing, and I'm pushing all the way down to the bottom. Once it's all stuffed, there's no more voids. Everything's pretty solid throughout. And my big puffy has basically disappeared around my sleeping bag. I've taken no more vertical room. So these guys can go into the big gloves. Kind of feel a pocket there. Stuff them into that and make sure there's no voids. Again, stuffing, I'm using a flat hand and I can find all those little voids with my fingers. So that kind of forms the base of my pack, things I won't need until camp for sure. They're fairly light items, but fairly bulky. That allows the bottom of the pack to be fully filled with useful stuff that I don't need right now. And now I'm on that middle section of the pack where my dense, heavy stuff can go. So if I'm not needing my harness for the day, say I'm just approaching the climb, not using the harness for climbing, this is all very dense and heavy stuff. That can go in right in that middle section. And something like that with a bunch of metal that's actually really heavy, I also put close to my pack straps in the front. That way that weight is close to the center of my back as possible. Other things that can go in here, group food. If I'm carrying a group load of some food, I won't need that until camp, but now it's dense and heavy, it's right in that center section. Once that middle section is done and I've got all my dense, heavy stuff in there that I don't need during the day, I'm on to the top part where I can make sure to have everything I need, everything I might need throughout the day, and that starts with my layers. So my rain layers can go up here, my insulation layers, anything like that can go there, and I want to be able to grab it really quick. So things like, I'm going to need a little bit of extra insulation. I can have my soft shell. Again, use a flat hand, leave a sleeve out, pack it away, finding all those voids, and then more insulation. That's filling a lot of the voids left from the group food and my carabiners and all. But again, I've left a sleeve out. Other things that can go in there. Now my water bottle, that can go up near the top. I want to be able to grab it at each break. Snack food for the day, want to grab it at each break. And at least as a guide, med kit. So at the top of my pack, that's most of what I have. I've got layers for as the weather changes. I've got a med kit if there's an issue. I've got water and food throughout the day. That's all sitting there. And by having all these sleeves or pant legs, if it's my rain shells, my rain pant bottoms, hanging out, now all I gotta do at the end of my packing of the main pack, flip those right on top. And if I needed to get them, they could be buried a little ways down. I still have access, I just grab that sleeve, pull them out, no problem. So that lets me pack them where they're most effective to fill voids and still have access. So main pack is now packed. I'm gonna go ahead and get it closed up, fold that trash bag over so it's actually nice and waterproof. I can set this aside for now. And then small items, small pockets. This particular pack doesn't come with a brain in it. It's just the style pack it is, that's fine. Sometimes I'll add one in just by throwing it inside the interior of the pack. But having something, whether it's a stuff sack or a brain off an old pack, something for all the little or breakable items. So this is my guide kit, a bunch of my backup navigation and map stuff. I also like keeping my light gloves, maybe my medium weight gloves in here, super easy access. They don't fall down inside my pack. Emergency poo bags. On the trail, want your headphones sometimes, and a buff. Goggles, you always want to bring your goggles in case it gets windy or starts snowing a lot. Those are breakable, those can go in there. And then, though I'm wearing my glacier glasses most of the time, I keep the hard case in the brain of my pack as well. So those are all items that can kind of filter down into the pack. Keep them in a smaller bag, you're all good. And this one even has a spot up here where I can keep stuff like my hand sanitizer or my sunscreen. Ooh. Lip balm, always want your lip balm. If you lose that in your pack, you're never finding it. So, small pockets, small items, breakable items. And that can now, for this pack, often it'll get strapped on top, but for this one, it just goes right in. And now I can go ahead and just fold this up. Fits nicely. I've got plenty of room left over, even though I've got stuff for several days. Close this guy up. So I've got this thing packed so there is, accessibility is covered. Everything I need during the day is up top. Balance is covered. I've made sure that the bulk of my weight is right at the center of the pack and near my straps so it carries well. Compression is partially covered by all that stuffing, but I also now have all these compression straps that can clip and go. These also are important for strapping things on the outside, something like a closed cell foam mat. I've already got my inflatable in here, but in snow, I love having my closed cell foam as well. That can go right on the side here using the compression straps to attach it. As I compress these and hold this straight to the pack, it also tightens up the pack inside. It just kind of sucks everything together so it carries well and doesn't slosh around. In terms of things on the outside, something big and bulky like your closed cell foam pad is good. And then this particular pack has a nice big pocket in the back, and I'll use this actually for both my crampon and my helmet, but crampons can also be strapped on like this if you're careful. I like having packs with this type of a crampon attachment pocket. And helmets, well, those can be difficult to strap on. All sorts of different ways to do it. I recommend just playing around with your pack and finding the right way so it doesn't dangle and clink around. But for something like this, I can get my crampons, slide all the way down. Those fit nicely there. They're not going to hurt anything. And then helmet can go in there as well. Pretty simple. It's nice to have these big pockets. Not too bad there. For your ice axe, there's several different types of attachment. This particular brand of pack or model of pack does not come with an ice axe attachment. So I tied a loop and another loop, and that's my ice axe attachment. It just slides down, spike first, head of the ice axe sits, pick is in, flips up without twisting, and then I can easily just clip it in, and that holds. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is what most packs have, some sort of a loop as well as a clip. And now I can put this on, go for a day of climbing, make sure that all the straps are clipped so they don't whack me in the face, in the wind, and I'm good to go. Pretty easy to fit everything in a 70 liter for most trips, so if you're having trouble, try just stuffing a little bit better or adjusting kind of where you're putting everything, because everything should fit very nicely. That's packing a pack.